If you've ever wanted to build wealth, this video you must watch. It's about your personal wealth philosophy. One of the biggest reasons why people struggle building wealth, struggle with income, struggle with business, struggle everything is because they don't understand what a personal wealth philosophy is. Most people have never even heard of it that I've coached. As I told you, I had 3 mentors, all were 10-figure giants. They had empires. And it was the greatest blessing of my life being able to literally, I've got private journal writings of a lot of different things that I learned from them that has helped me and Jody in so many different ways to be able to build things. And we're just so thankful. But personal wealth philosophy is something you have to know about. I learned it from one of my mentors, and I took notes, and I took from my private journal 5 billionaire secrets. Most of the time I'll never share. These are about the personal wealth philosophy and understanding that what wealth truly is and what billionaires think and do and how. I could give you 25 different things that I've learned just like that. But we're going to focus on these 5. There might be a part 2, 3, 4, 5, but this is 5 billionaire secrets that they'll never share. They'll never tell you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you now, and I'm going to give you an insight of the mind as well as a perspective of the 10-figure billionaire mentors that I had. I spent almost 20 years in that type of thinking, that atmosphere, that emotion, watching and observing. And this is going to be a fruit that's going to help you. Number 1. Time, they look at time differently. They look at time as their only non-renewable asset. Did you get that? Time is their only non-renewable asset. They look at time totally different. One of my mentors says, Douglas, TIME stands for this is my exit or this is my entrance. He says it depends on what you do with your time. TIME, this is my exit. Most people exit out of their dreams, exit out of their path, exit out of what life has to offer them because they don't think they've given it enough time and it just hasn't happened. But when it becomes your interest, this is my interest, entrance, TIME, he says you're going and moving into the entrance of the greatest days of your life, and it may be an entrance of struggle, an entrance of fire, an entrance that will build you, but it's still an interest in the greatest part of your life, into the greatest destination you'll ever have. One thing billionaires do obsess over is time, not money. Did you get that? Time, not money. Money multiplies. That's one of the things that millionaires and billionaires understand. Money multiplies, but time fades and dies. Did you get that? They buy back every second they can and guard it like gold. And that's one of the reasons why that most billionaires, they're time obsessed. They have X amount of hours in a week that what they can do in order to continue to build themselves as well as their wealth and their business. But they understand money, you can multiply it. Time, that's a non-renewable resource, and that's why that they're so focused. And I got so aware of my time. You can just ask my wife. My wife says, Doug, you get more done in a day than most people do in a week. It's because I understand certain principles of time that I was taught by these trio of billionaires that it made so much sense. So number 1, time is the only non-renewable asset you have, and you squeeze it just like a sponge. You squeeze out of every hour what you can in order to be able to build what you want. Did you get that? You squeeze out of every hour what you can like a sponge in order to build what you want. Time is fleeting. It goes. It doesn't stop. It continues to move. What you do with it, and I could go into time management, I'm not, but billionaires look at time management as a joke. They say, I don't manage time, I manage events. He says, there's nothing you can do with time. It continues on and then it disappears. I manage events during that time that bring me what I want to happen. Number 2, they build money paths, paths, not income. I remember writing this down. They build money paths to money. They don't build income. It's a path to money that is so different in their thinking. Most people trade hours for dollars. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially one of them, one guy said that's pretty much what life is. You trade, hours for dollars. But billionaires, they build machines. Did you get that? They build wealth machines, money paths that print money while they sleep. Did you get that? My mentor taught me something. He says, you'll never create wealth unless you're making money when you're sleeping. He says, there's no other way. You find a way to make money while you sleep. He says, I promise you, he says, you will end up wealthy. And that's what a money path is. While you sleep, the money is still traveling down a path to multiply itself. Did you get that? That's why it's called a money path, because it travels down a path, travels down a process that it multiplies itself. You got to understand, income stops when you stop. Did you get that? Income stops when you stop. Money paths never stop. They just keep going and going and going, because it is a wealth machine that is built from processes, from systems that operate when you're asleep, that money goes down that path and continues to multiply. So that's why that they don't build incomes. What they do is they build money paths, which goes and builds fortunes. MONEYPATHS. Number 3, failure is actually direction. It's not defeat. I remember when Chris said this, he said, Douglas, failure is nothing more than just direction. It's not defeat. Why would you even think that you'll ever be defeated? He says, to defeat is almost impossible. He says, you cannot be defeated unless you decide to walk away from something. He says, you cannot fail at something unless you walk away from something. He says, failure is direction, not defeat. Every loss teaches what winning requires. Did you get that? That was one of his favorite sayings. Every loss, Doug, multiplies, teaches what winning requires. Billionaires fail faster and bigger because each failure shortens the direction and path to inevitable success. My mentor said, you want to learn how to become a millionaire real quick? I said, yeah. He says, learn to fail faster than anybody else and quicker. He says, then get up and do it again. Then get up and do it again. Then get up. And the faster that you fail, he says, the closer you come to wealth, because wealth is based, he says, on the premise that failure is part of what has to happen in order for you to be built and gain the experience in order to build a 7, 8, 9, 10 figure business or income or life. And I want you to repeat this one. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Every loss that you have, every failure, every mistake, everything that you go through that doesn't work, it's teaching you what winning requires. And this is why the failure is direction. It's not a defeat. And when you fail, you got to step back and say, okay, it looks like I'm trying to go and maybe being redirected here. Because that's one of the things that my mentor said. He said, Douglas, all failure is just maybe, and I remember him saying this, he said, you may want to kind of look at it as like God's trying to redirect you to something, or he's trying to give you that same direction, but you've just got to give it more fire, give it more oomph, give it more belief, give it more action. Number 4, leverage is the rabbit effect for money. My mentor said that leverage is one of the single, if not the greatest way to be able to build wealth. Leverage is the rabbit effect. And what is the rabbit effect? They use and multiply other people's money, time, and talent to build empires. That's what billionaires do. They use other people's money. They use other people's time. They use other people's talent to go and build empires. It's been that way for thousands of years. You can't scale yourself, but you can scale the rabbit effect infinitely. What is the rabbit effect? What do rabbits do when they get together? They multiply like crazy. Well, it's the same thing here. When you use and multiply other people's money, time, and talent, then success starts multiplying. Results start multiplying. And the next thing you know, like rabbits, suddenly your empire looks a little bit closer every single day. Leverage is the rabbit effect for money, infinitely. And the more that you leverage other people's time, other people's money, other people's talent, the more that you're going to find, it could be employees, could be a team, it doesn't matter. You're going to find that it increases and multiplies success dramatically. So number 1, time is the only non-renewable asset billionaires look at. Number 2, billionaires build money paths, PATHS, not income. Number 3, failure is a direction, not defeat. Number 4, leverage is the rabbit effect for money. And number 5, Wealth is an unalterable philosophy before it's ever a bank account. Did you get that? Wealth is an unalterable personal wealth philosophy before it's ever a bank account. It starts between the ears. It gets into the, and this is what one of them said. It starts between the ears. It gets into the heart, and then it explodes out into the marketplace. They thought like billionaires when they were broke. Did you get that? I remember Chris looking at me, he says, you know the biggest difference, though, between when I was 26 or 7 years old and everybody else was 26 or so? I said, no. He says, I thought like a billionaire. He says, I perceived things like a billionaire. He says, because I knew I was going to be one, even though he says, I was broke at the age of 24 or 25. He says, but I still thought like a billionaire, even when I was broke. It was because of their philosophy. He says, I knew I was going to win. He says, but I was willing to put up with what most people wouldn't put up with. I want you to understand that money followed the self-image. When somebody has an unalterable philosophy and they see themselves, even when they're broke, as a millionaire or a billionaire, money follows the self-image. Did you get that? And this is something that I remember writing down. Money follows the self-image. And when you have wealth, when you have a 6-figure, 7-figure income, that is a reflection of your self-image. This is one of the reasons why that Chris said when I was broke, he says, I still thought like a billionaire. Think different and become different. That was something I wrote constantly in my journals. Think different, become different. Because that's what all three of them agreed on. When you think different, you become different. When you become different, you take different actions. When you take different actions, you get different results. And when you get different results, you grow different empires. So number 1, time is their only non-renewable asset. Number 2, they build money payouts on income. Number 3, failure is direction, not defeat. Number 4, leverage is a rabbit effect for money. And wealth is an alterable philosophy before it's ever a bank account. These I wrote down and I got out of my private journal and I wanted to share them with you. And there's a whole lot more we're going to be sharing from these billionaires that I was blessed to spend, 15, 20 years around. And they had such a different way of looking at things, thinking, perceiving, and it taught me so much. And I just want to help you get to that level of where it starts to change you as well. Like, subscribe, save this video, join the Fire family. And what I want you to do is understand, you get a fire journal, take notes for God's sakes. And the reason why is because the Lord is all through this. You've got to understand this is where you belong. People like us, we need a place that will tell you the truth, stretch you like you've never had before, and you will learn things here that you're not going to learn anywhere else, I promise. Like, share, follow, subscribe, spread the fire.